What is going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James. Selling on eBay for 22 years. It will be 23 in August for those who are asking. Started selling right before 9/11. Sold these shoes on Posh for $13. Shy by Journeys. Will they fit in there? Probably not. Let's see. Will they fit in here? Definitely not. I thought I grabbed a 10 by 8 by 4, but I didn't. So we'll put those aside and I'll get those later. So, what's been going on? Let's see what yesterday turned out to be. All right. Oh, $676. Not bad. Not too bad at all. This morning we were at 9:20 a.m. I'm at 1:04. The shutdown time last night was 11 to 6. So another big block overnight of nothingness. 37 items sold yesterday, 21 organic, 16 promoted. So that's good. Even with my clothing doing the test starting high, that's still only 16 promoted with 21 organic. I was kind of shocked there. This morning, 6 sold, 5 promoted, 1 organic. So we will see how today plays out. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, so not bad. Not bad at all. What's with all these windows open? All right. Well, I think that's all on the eBay side, right? It's Wednesday. We'll wait till Friday and look at the numbers, see how the close start stacking up. As we are starting our process, finding out the best percentage rate for that. Even this morning, going to accept offers. Sorry, we are experiencing difficulties at this time. Please try again. So, offers issues still ongoing. All day yesterday again with glitches. So, and my numbers are still not correct for the actual number of items I have listed. So all those issues are still topical. Let's see what you guys got to say. Questions and comments. Thank you for saying that about items missing in Seller Hub. I literally thought I was losing my mind. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. Yeah, you got to be careful to make sure you don't list duplicates and you're actually ending things. Things that you have listed are not showing up always in the Seller Hub when you do a search there. So if you search the Seller Hub, make sure you also search your actual store, because then you'll see the item come up. So, and that might be the difference of your numbers if your numbers are off from what you actually physically have in your store. So that is a problem. It's been a problem 2 months now. We're into, I think, somewhere around there. Awesome. 5 stars. I'm new to your YouTube channel. Find them useful and you automatically get respect due to the eBay longevity. I find them a little long sometimes, so it's difficult to sit through an entire video. Perhaps a more lasered focus at 6 to 9 minutes each. I will save videos and come back when I have time. Always enjoy your perspectives. Thank you. Yeah. What I'm trying to do now is kind of almost do what I'm doing with the eBay store foundation, right? I've got this morning video set. It's always a thing, right? I don't edit because I don't have time for that. So I figured, okay, what's the next step? Well, let's call this something. So it can be the same kind of thread or thumbnail every day. I don't have to think about it, put no time into it. The title can be, I can try to remember or have to skim through what I talked about on the video, just make the title and be done with it. And then I was thinking some of these questions and things that I might talk about in these videos about eBay or even other stuff, even sometimes if it's a funny short or something, putting those in separate little videos throughout the day. So instead of thinking about putting think power into the thumbnail and such, I could put think power into other short, quick videos. So yeah, so I went ahead with the throne thing just because I thought it was funny. Some people loved it, and then of course it triggers some people. So then I go, well, how can I best utilize the triggered people? Well, let's name the podcast Not For the Triggered and just play off of that. Basically, best utilizing a subset of YouTubers without caring about them, basically, or even thinking about them. So basically, it's just being used to an advantage, if you will. Plus, I think it's funny. And it's colorful. You need that. You need the colorful thumbnails. And then I figured I can see if I can play with like the tags and stuff in this video to see if it can it'll start be sent out to other people other than just eBay people. So maybe I'll play around with tags also when I make the title, change some of the tags to actually fit with what I am speaking about. So we'll try it. Just another little, and I figured that could be the foundation of the channel, Monday through Friday, normally. And then, of course, with summer coming, you'll get the yard sale videos, and then everything else will be distinct on what it is. So, yep, so kind of working there. We're trying to do it the most efficient way possible. Hey, James, quick question. I think I know the answer, but want your insight. I am looking at 500 records tomorrow, but they were stored flat on a table and they are in 4 stacks. So probably 100 in each stack. Would you go for them or no, since they may be warped? Well, how long were they stacked? You can stack them like that for a while and not have no issues. I'm not sure exactly how long because I've never left them stacked for too long, but depends on what they are, and check them, see if they are warped. That's what I would do. And of course the price. So I would definitely go to check them out for sure. And if they're all like popular titles, then hope that they are not warped. Spot check maybe 20 of them. And if you get them at a good enough price, boom, sold. But don't forget to use that to your advantage. Well, these have been stacked like this. You're not supposed to stack records like this. Kind of use that to your advantage to get the cost down, if need be. Hey, James, if you could do a little segment where you give some insight on your titles, that would be cool. My titles. I like the titles of many of your videos, but find you never mentioned them in the actual videos. Oh, I do talk about that. If you watch my videos, you know, you knew before I changed it to the podcast style, you knew the method behind it. So you could check out my other channels, but I'm not doing that anymore, at least for this video. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Hey, James, I enjoy watching your videos, even if they are the same thing all the time, as you say. Personally, that's what keeps me coming back. I like seeing what you sold and how much it sold for while you ship and talk about life. That's cool, because that's basically what I'm doing. For the most part, it's relaxing. Well, thank you. Sometimes more isn't always better. Yeah, it's not really about making more necessarily. I want to, like I said, maybe streamline. It's a good way of putting it. Make it more efficient, make it a more of a solid thing than just, but when it comes to like the thumbnail and what have you. And then maybe something else to talk about. Like I got a little topic in my head this morning after watching a show last night. So I'm like, I could always do whatever's in pop culture or in the now or whatever. So after watching a show last night, I'm like, oh, that might be a kind of cool topic to talk about and see where my head takes it. So I do got a topic to talk about while I ship, if I don't get sidetracked by one of your questions. But that's more about making it more of a solid as opposed to just a flimsy. But it's still going to have that flimsy whatever thing because I don't prepare for anything. Hope the Puppa Wuppa works out. If not, I really hope it gets a wonderful home. Courtney co-host. Love having your video running in the background as I'm listing. World Money Wins, thank you. Trolls help make your money with the algo. Yeah. And I kind of wanted to, I think that's what the test was for, subconsciously, is trying to find a way to best utilize without putting thought into it, right? Kind of how you try to do with all your YouTube videos when you're trying to push them toward, I guess, a certain thing. You want to find something that works and keep it going. Like I noticed yesterday on a couple of J Ride's videos, he got good views by using a certain word, and then I saw him use it a couple of videos later, and my take was because it worked, he decided to use it again. And I go, oh, maybe I'll try using it and see what happens. Let me see what that word was. Focus. So the one video it's at 20K views. These are top selling items on eBay. Wait, that's not the one I thought, was it? I could have swore the word focus was in both of them. Maybe he changed it, or maybe I'm crazy. I could have swore the word focus was in that title. So he may have changed it, or I'm crazy. Because I saw it there, and then I saw 2 videos later, eBay sales explode when you focus on these. So I thought that one had focus too. And that's what pinged in my head. I'm like, maybe something about the word focus kind of drove a little bit of something. But maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. I could have swore it was, though. You say you watch my videos. Did you have focus on that channel, or am I crazy on that video that's at 20K right now? Because I could have swore you did. Because I put 2 and 2 together, or 1 and 1 together. In the selling space, the largest YouTube channels are Amazon sellers. Find a way to get the Amazon viewers to subscribe to you. Amazon sellers are not really interested in eBay, so do videos ripping Amazon, or heck, start doing videos on trying to sell on Amazon. Yeah, but kind of over the whole bashing and stuff. We all know what problems are, so I don't think I want to start up anew. I've bashed Amazon enough in the past for their lack of professionalism and such. So, great idea, James. Now my scratch disc won't go to the garbage. They might sell on Etsy quite well. Yeah, a few of you guys were talking about putting them up on Etsy. Whoops, clicked on something. All right, let's get some shipping done. All right, one is sold since I pulled. And I forgot to pull that. I knew I was good. When's it due? It's due today, too. It's international. I knew there was something. I went back and I go, I know there's something in this room I'm missing. There is. Let me go grab this. It's A15. Okay. I knew there was something. I knew it. All right. F72, got that. And I don't got that. Oh, that's way over there. I'll get that later. Okay. That's light. I know the weight of that, so let me just print it up. At least be one step ahead. Okay. Purchase shipping labels. All right, first, I'm going to do this one first, get it out of the way. I had to box this up because Adrian tried to get it in the tube, but it wouldn't fit in a tube. It's a kite. So I created this box and get it shipped out today. Did it last night. So there's a kite that wouldn't fit in the tube, so I took two 12 by 6 by 6 boxes and cut and flipped up the ends of them and pushed them together. So that is a 14. All right, we got 6 by 6 by 24, but I'll put 25 just to play it safe. I feel like there's a hair touching my nose somewhere. I guess it's a nose hair. Damn it. One. So that's going to be it. I've been trying to keep them trimmed, but no matter how much you try to trim them, there's always one that sneaks out on you. All right. And let me get this one. I know what that one's going to be. 8 by 6 by 4. So get that printed out. Oops. And we've got one to France. That's the one I just pulled. And that's the only international. First up, we got this little girl's bucket hat, polka dot bucket hat. Sold for $9.50, headed to Sweet Valley, Pennsylvania. No, but I've been watching this show, Secrets to here's the word I can't. Polygamy. And you always know a little bit about it, but then this show kind of like really goes deep into what actually goes on within that organization. And that's some pretty twisted stuff they do. Holly. So first off, I'm going to say I definitely don't agree with what they do, but I can agree with the government is a beast. But what I find fascinating about it was two things that I enjoy or kind of fascinate me. The manipulation of the human brain and all the loopholes they can find in government to take advantage of the government. It's pretty crazy. So if you don't know what it is, polygamy is, we have the Schoolhouse Rocks CD. Sold for $9, headed to Ohio. So it's basically guys controlling women and children. That's basically what it is. It's a cult. They say it's all based around religion and being better than us humans outside of their kingdom, quote unquote. I call it outside of their cult. But it's more just based on control. Because the guys can have 25 wives and 150 kids. And it's all about growing the kids to serve the man. Alicia? But the fact that they use so many loopholes in the government to get away with what they get away with and to bleed money from the government, our tax money basically, it's just astounding to me. We got these Michael Kors wedge women's shoes. Sold for $9, headed to Maine. They create corporations they even create schools, and it's all the majority of their people that are in these that actually run the corporations are their people. And like 99.9% of the people in those corporations and schools are their people. Like the last one I saw, which was last week's, I haven't watched this week's yet, is about how they're running a public school, but they're not taking in any of the public. They're in a well-diversed area in Utah, yet they're 100% white in the school. And a majority of them, well, all of them are part of that order. But apparently they're losing their funding or something, or they're on probation because they're being investigated now. But they're finding loopholes to get around it. And in the one big corporation, they were supposed to be creating like biofuel, I believe, but they weren't really creating biofuel. But they had a shell company basically to make it look like they were producing biofuel and getting all the benefits from the government of taxpayer money, and then putting it into their other corporations, basically funding their own uprising is what they're doing, you know. Crystal. So it's crazy how they can use the government and all the loopholes to their advantage. We got the Ladue basketball hoodie. It sold once, they returned it for some reason. Sold again going to South Carolina, sold for $15. But they call it bleeding the beast when they talk about taking taxpayers' money, essentially. Basically taking free money from the government to build their kingdom. The TV show is basically just to kind of bring awareness to it, to get more people outraged about it. But the most twisted part, and the part that bothers me the most, because I'm always for the innocence of children and animals, is how they brainwash and abuse the children so that they grow up to be servants, basically. Where all all they're allowed to do is raise kids, have kids, and work. And it's just sick. But they will, if the kid starts to get out of line, they will hold them by their hair and smack them until they stop crying. And actually, one I think is in jail for long term, the main guy, or at least the main current guy. And then his brother, I think it was his brother, served 7 months in jail for child abuse or something like that. Called CD Your Place in God's Custom House. So for $12, headed to Alabama. But the fact that they can brainwash all these, it's crazy how they can brainwash that many people into thinking that the society we live in, that we're evil. And, if you stay within the kingdom, you're a child of God and all this and that. So you have all these people who look at us as the enemy. But you will get some people who question. You're always going to have that subset in society who questions everything, right? So the ones who do start rising up and questioning things, they actually eventually leave the order. They basically run away. And that alone could be scary. Well, that one's going to Australia. I didn't see that one. That could be scary. If you've been told all these people on the outside are evil. Now you got to go outside with no support. So that's what a lot of these people who have escaped before, they've created these support systems to help people get out of there and to help them start in normal society. Christmas comedy CD, sold for $9, headed to Pennsylvania. But I gotta say, the control factor and the loophole thing is impressive. I don't agree with it, but it's impressive. You gotta be pretty smart and twisted. Czech Republic hat, headed to Springfield, Pennsylvania, sold for $10. The one girl I saw on last week's episode that I watched last night, her mom had a little rebellious in her because she took her kids out of their schooling and put them in actual public schools. So the one girl was able to start questioning things a lot easier because she saw the outside world, basically. So when you shelter these kids in your own schools, your own workplaces, everybody around you is that like-minded person. So they try to keep all of their people from interacting with anybody from outside of their community, their cult, by calling them evil and that they'll go to hell or whatever. So jazz cassette sold for $7, headed to Vernon, Texas. There's some right there. But it is intriguing to watch. But apparently Utah's the easiest place to get away with this stuff, being that polygamy there is legal, and that's being able to marry more than one person. Who wants that stress? Marriage with one person's hard enough. Good Lord. But that's why you can control them. That's why any of those situations, it's a control factor when you have that much going on. I mean, two's okay, because if there has to be any conversation, hey, I don't have to be involved. but yeah, that's a joke. But kind of true, though. But yeah, the whole, it's fascinating. The control. We got Rich Mullins CD songs. Sold for $8, headed to Santa Rosa, California. Danielle. Oh, no. Next up, we've got Baby Fat outfit. Baby Fat. We got a top that looks something like this. And we got the pants to go with it. Ding. This sold for $24, headed to Brooklyn, New York. Boom, 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 boom. If you're wondering where that was from, it's a David Lee Roth video called Yankee Rose. If you watch the one with the intro, you can look it up. If I remember, I'll try to put the link below, since we're doing pop culture stuff also. Yankee Rose, David Lee Roth with the intro. It's a little store setting, convenience store, with people coming in. One lady comes in. She's like, I have to find my laxatives. Not in this store, you don't. And then the guy comes in with two girls. It's better for conversation, because if there has to be any, hey, I don't have to be involved. Hey, oh, kind of, it's good. Parker. That's one guy who's kind of gone off the deep end, it seems like. David Lee Roth. He's always been a little goofy. Very eclectic human being he is. North and South. DVD set. Sold for $10, headed to Idaho. Very eclectic individual. He puts out little goofy videos every once in a while of him like dancing and stuff. I find it relatively entertaining. But he's a guy who kind of like took advantage of his, what the hell? Of his situation, like being able to do a lot of things. But then again, I think his parents had money anyway, so he probably would have done them anyway. But like rock climbing and learning how to control like a sheepdog, if you will. One of those dogs that by simple sounds can command them to do things. I forget what, it's like herding or something like that. I don't know if that's exactly what he does, the herding part, but without the animals. It's kind of like a sport, I believe. Frankie Lee, Here I Go Again. Oh, that's the international thing there. Sorry. And then that. Okay, so we're done with the U.S. stuff. talking about a Yankee Rose. With the great Steve Vai on guitar, Billy Sheen on on bass. And what's his name? Bissett. I always forget how to pronounce his name. Greg Bissett, and he's got a brother named Matt. I can't pronounce their last name, but print labels. You know you got to be a little bit out there. If somebody as chill as like Sammy Hagar can't hang around you. David Lee Roth. That's why they won't tour with him anymore. He tried that once and regretted it. That could have been something special with Eddie gone now. So that's you there. Eddie's one of those fascinating characters when it comes to, like, he never thought smoking cigarettes was bad for you, but yet that's what basically caused his throat cancer and stuff. So, but some people are stubborn. Well, all people have a stubborn bone in their body, I guess, one way or another about something here or there. Human nature, I guess. But knowing when to wake up from that, from certain things, that's the trick. Not doing it too long or too much or overkill or letting it control you. The world of addiction. And that all goes into the mind control thing also. But using chemicals and such to control your mind. Making you do things that if you really thought about, you wouldn't do. But being you're addicted, you get kind of skewed from actual facts. Like my mom always was with smoking. And that's what killed her. And then finally, 2 days before she passed, or maybe it was 3 or so, I wish I would have never have smoked. Well, Mom, we've been telling you that to stop for years. My dad stopped and she kept going. So she didn't even stop for him. That's the power. That's the power of, I guess, just a controlled mind. You can't really say weak mind, because all minds are pretty much the same. It's just how big is the hook, the control factor. Like, I don't think addiction is a disease per se. It's almost like in a category all its own. I think they try to put it in as a disease to keep it out of the criminal factor. Because if you think about it, it could be technically criminal to control somebody with a substance. Maybe, maybe not. Just thinking out loud. Just thinking out loud. Could be right, could be wrong. Who knows? It's all about thinking, keeping the open mind. Tractor Beverage Company hat. Headed to Australia. Sold for $14.50. That's what we're doing here on the Not for the Triggered podcast. Make sure you like this video. Subscribe to this channel. See, now I got to start saying that stuff. Please like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are not. Who knows what we'll talk about, what I'll show, what we'll get into. I'll try to have a little bit better structure. Try to have at least some basic topic to speak on that obviously led from, how do we go from polygamy, you know what I mean, to Van Halen, to addiction. That's what I do here, you see. It's the, what's the word? Here I go, forgetting. The Keanu Reeves thing. 6 degrees of Keanu Reeves. That's what I do. I can put polygamy with addiction through metal. That's what I do. I am talented like that. Some call it talent, some not so much. That's going to probably be about 12. Some call it stupidity, some call it talent. Whatever you want to call it, hey, it works. I still got one more to go here. Which leads me to a nice little quote I like that just popped in my head. And let's see if I can modify it to make it even better. The original quote is, first we got Frankie Lee, Here I Go Again on CD, sold for $7. Headed to France. And the original quote, I believe, goes something like, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. So I like to modify that a little sometimes and think, no matter what you think I am or ain't, you're right. 3.7, 6.78. Because in the end, it's all up to you. All right, where's my number at? There you are, CD. You're the one that has control over, there it is, over yourself at the end of the day. You are more powerful than you give yourself credit for. You are more powerful than your addiction. You just got to find it. You got to find that power. You are more powerful than your depression. You are more powerful than your sadness. You can do anything you want to do. Just do it. And that is all. We're done here for the day. We are at 10 a.m. exactly. Let's see how much. We were at 104. Now I'm at 148 at 10 o'clock. So right near the low end where I like to be. I do got an offer to take. $10 on a Mizzou hat. Taken. Boom. Hopefully this separating the clothes will really spike up my sales and keep maybe a constant 600 plus coming in. I think if it does that consistently, I think we're on the right track. All right, that is all. I am off to the post office and then back to listing and drafting all day. So thanks everybody for hanging out. I'll see you all in the next video. Later.